right, it's time for this week's edition of Rocky Talk, brought to you every week at this time by Rocky Mountain Equipment. And joining us on the phone as we are continuing a conversation we started last week talking about soil moisture sensors, collecting data on what's happening in the ground when it comes to moisture availability for the crop. On the phone, we're pleased to have Cory Arnold, Sales Manager with AquaSpy. Thanks for taking the time again, Cory.
Oh, of course. I'm happy to be back.
So when it comes to soil moisture sensors, putting probes in the field, what types of crops do you see benefiting the most from moisture probes from this technology?
You know, last year we deployed over 5,000 probes in the U.S. and Canada, and you know we have probes from anything in drip irrigation, in high density apples, fruit, cherries, you know, fruit type applications. The majority of our probes are under irrigation pivots. And then we do have a larger number of probes than we ever thought in dry land. There's a use case for every single crop type. Every crop has different growing patterns. Like with potatoes, you know, you're really watching the probes for very specific things, like making sure your tubers are set and making sure you're watering enough and as fast as you can. With corn, again, you know, it just depends on the crop. But the data that we're able to give based on the crop allows as long as you understand your crop and its growing cycles, our pros will give you the ability to make better decisions.
So what would that look like you mentioned in a dryland situation, let's say dryland wheat as an example, where would that information be actionable in a farmer's decision making?
So with dryland, you're basically looking for the time when the plant starts to stress, right? And so we can give you level by level every 4 inches when actually the plant stops consuming water, when there's no more moisture for that plant to drink. You're actually going to see the plant basically flatline, and you know when those plants are going to turn off underground before you're going to see it above ground. So a lot of our dryland growers that are using moisture probes, they're using it to get early indications of when their plants are going to be ready to be cut, because they know when the plants stop drinking.
Finally then, Cory, we're hearing more and more about these probes, about soil moisture sensors, and there are options on the market right now. What are some of the main differences that we should be looking at when it comes to probes that are available on the market right now?
The biggest difference between, I feel like, our probes and everybody else's probes is that we're measuring 3 things at every level. So our probe has a sensor every 4 inches. So you're measuring at 4 inches into the soil, 8 inches, and 12 inches, and then all the way down to 48 inches. In crops like potatoes, we just use a 24-inch probe because those roots will never get below 24 inches. But at every depth, we're measuring moisture, we're measuring EC or electric conductivity, or we're measuring temperature. And all of those things are extremely important when you're looking at plants waking up. Like with alfalfa in the early years, as the soil temps hit certain temps, the plant starts to wake up, roots start to grow, and the consumption starts. Well, we can show you that underground before you'll see it above ground. On the software side, what we've really done is give you that data in a really simple, easy-to-use graph system that allows you to log into the portal, see all of your probes, and within 30 seconds, look at a probe in a field and make decisions. That's really the magic of it. So because most growers don't have just one circle, they have 10 or 20 or 30. And so you need to be able to make those decisions quickly. So a grower with 30 probes can log on to our site and within 10 to 15 minutes, see where every field is trending and make sure it's trending in the direction he wants it to trend and make decisions based on it. And that's really the main difference. Being able to manage your active root zone, you know, because the system senses the moisture going in and the plant's pulling that moisture out at every 4 inches, and then also having something that's really easy to use and user-friendly so you can make decisions really quickly it's everything, right? Most growers that have a lot of our products, they wake up in the morning, they hop on their phone, they look at all their fields, then they can go out and make decisions. And that's really the magic of it.
All right. And growers in Western Canada can find out more through their Rocky Mountain Equipment dealers and at aquaspy.com. Thanks for taking the time, Cory.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Cory Arnold, Sales Manager with AquaSpy, joining us for this week's edition of Rocky Talk. We'll be back with RealAg Radio in just a moment.